Could take their seats. We're going to get started. All right, if people can please take their seats, we'll get started, and we're going to start. Melissa is going to do the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Mayor. The West Hollywood City Council acknowledges that the land on which we gather and that is currently known as the City of West Hollywood is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and the Gabrielino Kizh peoples.
Thank you. We are now officially in order, and we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And we have William and Grayson Brodsky, who are going to lead us. They're both from the Larchmont Charter School, so they're going to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job. Thank you for that. City Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Councilmember Byers.
Here.
Councilmember Erickson.
Here.
Councilmember Meister.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hang.
Present.
Mayor Heilman.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Okay, and now we're going to get a report of our closed session agenda from our city attorney.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. The City Council convened a closed session this evening at 5:30 p.m. There were no members of the public here to speak on the closed session agenda. The Council discussed the one item of business listed on the posted agenda and took no reportable action and concluded at 5:45. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Now we'll turn to the approval of the agenda. Melissa, are there any changes to the agenda from staff?
No changes from staff, Mayor.
All right, so council members, any desire to move items to consent calendar? I see Council Member Erickson is ready to do that.
Sure. Could we move item F5, the establishing of a grant program for West Hollywood sports and clubs? Well,
Okay.
there are three of us that support it. So my comment is questions or comments that would substantially change the item.
So our tendency is to leave things on the agenda if there are questions or comments. So
Okay.
are there other changes that you want
Sure.
to propose?
Let's hold on one second. The F3, the sponsorship of a keynote event featuring Elias as part of the Human Rights Speaker Series.
Any objection to moving that to consent? Okay, that'll be moved to consent. It's your item. How about moving F4 to consent?
Sure.
Any objection to that? Okay, we'll move F4. How about F6?
If you have questions, go ahead.
I have comments. I don't know that they'll.
Yeah, I don't think we're expressing our views on this, but if you have comments, I had a couple of comments. We'll leave that on the regular agenda as well. Are there any other changes that people would like to propose? Okay. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as, Councilmember Meister.
Yeah, I'd like to pull B9, the economic study I have.
Councilmember Meister, can you turn on your mic?
I can.
Thank you.
Yes, B9, the economic study, I have some questions and some comments.
Okay, so we'll pull B9 from consent. Are there any other changes? If not, I'd entertain a motion. I see we have a motion to approve, a second. All those in favor, here we go. Great. We now have an agenda that's been approved.
So we moved items F3 and F4 to consent, and we moved B9 to excluded consent.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
I know that I believe there are some speakers for item F5, even though we didn't move it to consent. If we can call those during public comment, that would probably save them some time. All right, so any Levine Act disclosures tonight? None? No. Okay, so do any of my colleagues have any adjournment motions? Councilmember Erickson.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'd like to adjourn in memory of Brother Robert Lavelle. Brother Robert was head of school at Gilmore Academy in Gates Mills, Ohio, where Vince Garino, our parking services manager, attended high school. Brother Robert served as head of school for over 3 decades. One of the tributes for him has this to say: Brother Robert embodied the spirit of giving in its purest form. He never sought attention or recognition, yet his impact was unmistakable. In his quiet, unassuming way, he developed people, students, faculty, families, and friends, always seeing potential where others might not. He believed deeply in growth, redemption, and the power of steady encouragement. The results of his life's work live on the countless lives shaped by his wisdom, compassion, and unwavering faith. He led with humility. He listened more than he spoke. He offered guidance without judgment and support without condition. He was always there, being present, dependable, and grounded in love. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other adjournment? Yes, Councilmember Meister.
Thank you. Tonight, I'd like to adjourn this meeting in memory of Alex Preti, who was tragically killed by federal immigration agents on January 24th. Alex is remembered by his family as a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans who he cared for as an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA hospital. His family shared that Alex wanted to make a difference in this world, and that he did. Unfortunately, his life was taken far too soon, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to Alex's parents, family, and to all who are grieving this profound loss. This country lost its innocence a long time ago, but the murder of Alex Preti and Renee Nicole Good by our own government will mark a point in time when this country has reached a new low. May both their memories be a blessing. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor. I have one adjournment tonight, and that is for Kim Vo. Kim Vo was a celebrated hairstylist, founder of the Kim Vo Salon in West Hollywood. He has been battling colorectal cancer since 2018, and he lost that battle recently. He was known for his artistry, his kindness. We extend our heartfelt condolences to his husband, to his family, his friends, and all who were inspired by his life and work. We honor the difference he made here in West Hollywood and beyond. So now we'll turn to presentations. I believe that Council Member Byers has a presentation. Sure. Can we start with that?
We sure will. Yes, tonight I'm honored to recognize that February is American Heart Month. February is American Heart Month, a time to raise awareness about cardiac arrest, heart health, and the life-saving actions that can help save those experiencing cardiac emergencies. Cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death worldwide, with more than 350,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests occurring each year in the United States, yet only about 10% of people survive. And approximately 70% of out-of-hospital cardiac arrests occur at home, making family members and bystanders the first and most critical link in the chain of survival. Yet only about 41% of people receive immediate CPR, and fewer than 12% receive aid from an automated external defibrillator before advanced help arrives. An immediate cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, can double or even triple a person's chance of survival. And for adults and teens, hands-on CPR, calling 911 and pushing hard and fast in the center of the chest, is effective, while infants and children require CPR with rescue breaths to restore oxygen and circulation. And each year, more than 23,000 children experience cardiac arrest outside of the hospital, with nearly 40% related to sports and almost 20% occurring among infants. And cardiac arrest accounts for 10 to 15% of sudden unexpected infant deaths. Studies show that women are less likely than men to receive CPR before advanced help arrives due to fear of causing harm, perceived legal risk, or discomfort with physical contact, barriers that must be addressed through education and public awareness. The American Heart Association has set a bold goal to double survival from the out-of-hospital cardiac arrest by 2030 through its Nation of Lifesavers initiative, empowering people to confidently perform CPR and use AEDs, helping to ensure that communities are prepared to act and save lives in every cardiac emergency. So tonight we have a proclamation. Here it is. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of West Hollywood hereby proclaims February 2026 as American Heart Month in the City of West Hollywood and encourages all community members to learn more about the American Heart Association's efforts to build a nation of lifesavers. At this time, I would like to invite Brian Lopez, the Development Director with American Heart Association, up to have a photo and receive your certificate. Thank you so much.
Thank you for recognizing February as American Heart Month this year, and for supporting our mission in saving lives from heart disease and stroke. This year, we're once again focused on building a nation of lifesavers and spreading the powerful message that you are the first responder until help arrives, so that everyone is prepared to react to a cardiac emergency by calling 911 and knowing how to perform CPR. As a member of the American Heart Association's Greater Los Angeles team, I urge the people of West Hollywood to learn CPR. I did, and so can you. The American Heart Association gratefully accepts this proclamation and West Hollywood's continued support of its work. Thank you.
Thank you. We can clap for hearts. That's good. All right. At this time, I'd like to bring back up the Brodsky twins, William and Grayson, who did such a great job leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have certificates for you. Our next certificate tonight is a sad one, and that is because we are losing Genevieve Morel, who has been the CEO and president of the West Hollywood Chamber for many, many years, since 2010. And during that time, she has dedicated her time, her effort. She has had a steadfast commitment to the city and the business community. Under her leadership, the Chamber of Commerce budget tripled. She restructured the organization, restructured the dues framework, increased membership by more than 20%, and definitely elevated the influence of the chamber. She played a critical role in numerous economic development programs in the city and was truly a partner with the city in promoting the West Hollywood business community. Beyond her professional roles, Genevieve has also served as a Los Angeles County Business License Commissioner, past president of the Westside Council Chambers of Commerce, and on numerous boards and committees, earning widespread respect and numerous commendations for her work. Her retirement marks the culmination of a very distinguished career here in West Hollywood, promoting the business community and promoting economic vitality. So on behalf of the city, we want to commend and congratulate Genevieve on her retirement and extend our appreciation for your many, many years of service to our community. Thank you, Genevieve.
I might go over a little over the 2-minute mark. Melissa. Thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and members of the community. I also want to just take this moment to congratulate Jackie Rocco, who I wasn't able to earlier as the new city manager. I know the city, sorry, and the chamber is in great leadership hands, so congratulations. I'm incredibly honored to be recognized by a city that has been both my professional home and my heart for the past 25 years. West Hollywood has never been just a place where I worked. It is a community I have believed in deeply, one that encouraged me to dream big, take risks, and serve with purpose. Early in my career, I had the privilege of leading the transformation of the Pacific Design Center at the time when many considered it a white elephant. We reimagined it as a cultural and economic anchor, raising occupancy to over 90%, welcoming partners like MoCA and Wolfgang Puck, and reviving the West Week Design Marketplace, converting vacant second-floor showrooms into vibrant art galleries, and ultimately realizing Cesar Pelle's vision with the development of the Red Building. We hosted powerful exhibitions, including the Annie Leibovitz Rewarding Lives exhibit and the 9/11 quilt displays, moments when the PDC became not just a place of business, but a place of reflection and meaning. And year after year, we activated that campus with more than 500 meetings and events a year annually, transforming it into a true event and gathering place for the city, including the Emmys, HBO Emmys, and Elton John Oscar event. At the Chamber, the work has always been about the people and about the community. And working in partnership with the city and our stakeholders, we supported development that shaped West Hollywood, bringing in diverse projects, activating iconic brands, and launching trends that continue to elevate the city internationally. Through campaigns like Eat, Shop, Play, and We Happy Wednesdays, we elevated local business and strengthened our economy with initiatives like My WeHo, Keep WeHo Open, the Small Business Initiative, and the Critical State of Business. We became a strong and consistent voice for our business community. Supporting small business during the times of crisis has been the most meaningful work of my career. During the pandemic, our weekly virtual Friday meetings provided access to resources, but more importantly, they offered hope. I was proud to co-found California for Safe Reopening and to advocate relentlessly for our local businesses. And after the fires a year ago in January, we launched WeHo Gives Back, keeping our economy connected and resilient during yet another moment of challenge. I have also been honored to serve the city on numerous ad hoc committees and task forces that some of you will remember, from shared economies and the smoking ordinance to the transportation management organization, the Women's Leadership Conference and the book fair, and countless review panels, always with the goal of helping West Hollywood lead with intention, equity, and inclusion. Between my work at the PDC and the Chamber, I collaborated closely with the city staff on the city's 25th anniversary of cityhood and created structures and styles, an architectural and design hotel tour, I think imagined by Mayor Heilman here, celebrating West Hollywood's creative identity. And one of the accomplishments I'm especially—
Excuse me, Genevieve, can I ask that the conversation in the back end? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the accomplishments I'm especially proud of is helping raise the $10 million in private capital to build this library and our council chambers, an investment in civic life that will serve this community for generations. Our work managing the city's business improvement districts resulted in economically sound organizations, strong board leadership, and activated districts that reflect the character and creativity of West Hollywood. And none of this happened alone. I am deeply grateful to the City Council, past and present, for your partnership, trust, and leadership. To the city staff, thank you for your dedication and collaboration. To Visit West Hollywood, the Sunset Strip, and West Hollywood Design District, and so many others, your partnership was instrumental to our success. And to the business, nonprofit, and creative communities, you are the soul of the city. To my resident friends, we have come a long way, baby, becoming allies and working together on issues that matter to all of us as a community. And to the Chamber Board of Directors, governors, and my extraordinary staff, damn, you make me look good. I felt your support every single day. And West Hollywood has taught me that progress is built through relationships, courage, and care for one another. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this extraordinary journey in an extraordinary city for over 25 years. It is an honor I will always treasure. Thank you.
Our final recognition tonight is for a beloved organization in West Hollywood, Project Angel Food. Project Angel Food has been serving people in the community for many, many years. Initially started as an organization serving people living with HIV. It has expanded greatly. It now serves a variety of people who are in need of home-delivered meals. So they are going to be expanding, and they are expanding. They have an opening coming up this week. When I was sworn in as mayor, I said I was going to donate $1,000 to various organizations each month. And the first donation I'm making is to Project Angel Food, and I will give it to Richard. And I would encourage everyone to donate to Project Angel Food and to volunteer for Project Angel Food, because their work continues. The need for volunteers, the need for their service has expanded greatly due to the impacts that we're seeing from the federal government. So if my colleagues would come and join me, I have a certificate of recognition for Project Angel Food, and the CEO, Richard Ayub, is here to accept.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We are extremely honored to receive your first $1,000 check. And how generous is that? Thank you very much. And I'd like to say that Project Angel Food is grateful to the city of West Hollywood. Not only is it my hometown, this is where I live, but the city has contributed to our capital campaign to the tune of $400,000. So thank you very much for that. And yes, you said that we are going to be opening soon. In 3 days, we are opening a $20 million kitchen that took 17 months to build. And that is going to allow us to serve 3 times as many people. It's going to allow us to go from 1.5 million meals a year to 4.5 million meals a year. And so that means people who are living with HIV/AIDS, diabetes, kidney failure, heart failure, cancer, they will be able to get home-delivered meals absolutely free. And we're going to be able to help more and more people. So I do agree, Mayor, that volunteering is one of the best things you can do. And if anyone would like to help volunteer in this shiny new kitchen, you can go to angelfood.org/volunteer, because we're going to need 3 times as many volunteers because the space is so much bigger. And Annie Lennox, I hate to drop names, but I might as well. Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics came in a year ago after the fires, and she said, Richard, Project Angel Food turns helplessness into hope. And so if anyone feels helpless and needs some hope, you are welcome in our home. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will now turn to public comment. City Clerk, how many comments do we have on Zoom?
We have 2 individuals in Zoom, one to speak on a consent calendar item and one to speak on general public comment, and we have 16 individuals in chambers.
Okay. Can we move ahead and take the comments in chambers, and then we'll go to the ones on Zoom?
Yes.
All right. So our first speaker is Tiffany House, to be followed by Greg Rang.
Hi there, good evening. My name is Tiffany House, and I'm the Associate Director for Early Care and Education Programs with Pathways LA.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Tom?
I'm sorry. I spent the whole week doing something and nothing happened for me. So I'm sorry. I'm a little pissed off. I'll get through it.
We go to the speakers who are speaking on consent calendar items first. We will get to people who are speaking on general comments after we get to the speakers on the consent calendar. But I want to advise you to stop disrupting the meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave until your time to speak comes. So sorry for that interruption. Tiffany, okay. Please continue.
No worries. So on behalf of Pathways LA and West Hollywood Preschool, I just wanted to thank the Human Services Commission and the City Council for your ongoing support in prioritizing and investing in early childhood education. Your ongoing support and the partnership with the preschool, as well as awarding us this grant, is going to help us develop our strategic plan towards expanding child care services in the West Hollywood area. And we look forward to that, and just once again wanted to thank you for the support for the children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next speaker is Greg Rang on item B11, and then Ken Sanchez and Liam Conway. Hi, Greg.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Hyman, Vice Mayor Heng, esteemed City Council and City staff. It's good to see you all. I'm Greg Rang, resident of Los Angeles and the Executive Director for the West Hollywood Design District. I wish to thank you for your support of item B11 in supporting art and culture in the City of West Hollywood. While people are increasingly living through their phones, I wish to remind everyone that exposure does not equal experience. Art binds people to place and to one another while organically energizing the local economy. If you missed it this weekend, the One Gallery opened an exhibition called Existence Equals Resistance. On Saturday, February 28th, I invite you all to join us in the Design District and throughout the city of West Hollywood to exist, resist, and celebrate our beautiful city. Thank you.
Thank you. Ken Sanchez on item F5, then Liam Conway on item F5 as well.
Good evening, members of the council. I'm Ken Sanchez, the president of the West Hollywood Soccer Club and resident of West Hollywood, and I'm here to speak in strong support of item F5. For more than 40 years, the West Hollywood Soccer Club has provided a safe, affirming space for queer and allied soccer players. Founded in 1985 with just 8 players during the height of the AIDS crisis, we have grown into an organization of nearly 200 members and over 500 active players. We welcome players of all skill levels, and more importantly, we welcome people as they are. At a time when LGBTQ+ participation in sports, especially for trans athletes, is being actively challenged at multiple levels of government, organizations like ours provide consistent access to sport when many others do not. Sports improve physical and mental health, create community, and provide a critical sense of belonging. For many people, especially LGBTQ+ individuals, that acceptance can be life-changing and sometimes life-saving. WHSC delivers this entirely as an all-volunteer nonprofit organization, filling a gap where public services do not. We operate on a very tight budget. Our funding comes from membership dues, league fees, and one local sponsor. Even with that, it is not enough. For context, field rentals alone cost us $25,000 a year at Fairfax High School. When you add insurance, equipment, administrative costs, and a hardship subsidy program that helps members facing financial difficulties, the financial reality becomes clear. At the same time, local sponsors are under real strain and cannot give at past levels. I ask the council and those who oppose this measure to keep in mind that most of our members are not working high-paying industries like private equity. Costs that may seem modest can be a real barrier. Organizations like ours bring hundreds of people into West Hollywood every week, supporting local restaurants, bars, and businesses. Let's be clear, these funds would go to qualifying organizations, not individuals. And for many queer people who were excluded from sports growing up, those opportunities represent access they were once denied. I encourage the council to consider going further and creating a $100,000 endowment that would allow for larger one-time grants to community-based organizations like ours. Thank you.
Thank you. Liam Conway to be followed by Garrett Zafman.
Hello, City Council. Thank you for having me. My name is Liam Conway. I'm the president of West Hollywood Run Club. My God. We've been operating in the city for about 3 years, and while our club is still in its infancy when compared to clubs like Ken's Soccer Club, we still have a large group of passionate runners and athletes in our club. What I would like to talk about is this measure and how it could benefit our club's growth. We have big goals, big dreams as far as where we want to be in the next couple of years. And what this grant could allow us to do is to kickstart some merchandise opportunities as well as branding opportunities that would help people in the club feel like they are part of something bigger. Not just the West Hollywood Run Club community, but the West Hollywood community at large. More importantly, and furthermore, what this grant could allow us to do is to send our athletes to races all over the world. The Abbott World Marathon Majors allow entrants from run clubs just like our own, and to be able to send our runners to races like Tokyo, Berlin, Boston, Chicago, New York, Sydney, and have them running under the West Hollywood Run Club banner would shine an even brighter light on what is already a bright, inclusive, and beautiful city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Garrett Zafman to be followed by Jamie Kay.
Hi, I'm Garrett. I've been acting as the treasurer for the West Hollywood Soccer Club for the last 2 years. I'm mainly here to address the concern that the money that we may be lucky enough to receive would be funneled directly to individuals who are traveling to tournaments. The way that we manage our funds is that we keep our general club operations completely separate from any fundraising that goes to traveling players. So any money that we're lucky enough to receive from this grant initiative would go towards bringing down the costs for local playing operations and making those operations more accessible for the community members. And that's it. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Jamie Kay?
Hi all, Jamie Kinnerk, also in support of item F5. Growing up, my main identifier was that I was an athlete, and I have been incredibly blessed to be able to rediscover that passion as an adult. Sports-built community and soccer is often the thing that I say keeps me sane, especially in this political climate. As was mentioned, we live in a time when the Supreme Court is actively trying to attack trans athletes who participate in sports, making it even more important for us to support inclusive spaces for athletes, especially when these outlets are often life-saving. I have built so many deep and meaningful relationships through Queer Sports League, and anyone that's met me personally can also attest how much this has impacted my physical, mental health, and overall well-being. I'm here as a member of West Hollywood Soccer Club, but also want to note that there are other incredible organizations, like there's a master's swim team in WeHo that I hope to join soon that does a lot of queer programming, the Run Club as well, that would also likely benefit from a program like this. So I'm incredibly thankful to the volunteer-led programs like WeHo Soccer Club, who put in countless hours to make sure that these opportunities exist and to make them as financially accessible as possible, of which this item is a piece. This would help ensure the club's future viability, and I strongly urge you to support this item. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now turn to general public comment, and Tom, I am going to take you first, a little bit out of order, but I think that would allow you to express your comments quickly. Thank you, Tom.
Yes, my name is Tom DeMille. What is this? It's going to work? Hello, test. It's not working?
Hang on a second. Melissa will help you.
I don't need a mic.
No, we do need a mic to record, and so the members of the audience can hear as well. Hang on a second. Oh. Hang on 1 second. We'll get this fixed.
This is our 25th anniversary, Mayor. I was supposed to get a 25th anniversary, but nothing happened.
1, 2.
Hang on so we can get your comments recorded.
Thank you. My name is Tom DeMille, City of West Hollywood. Mayor, this is 25 years ago. In February of 2000, you signed a proclamation for a day of love and compassion when we got all of those artists together to help people living with AIDS, to make art, to make songs, whatever you have to do as an artist to make, well, fix AIDS, first of all. And, but, you know, love ended up saving that. I wanted to have something special for Valentine's Day for the AIDS Memorial. Every year we could have violinists, and everyone on the West Side plays the violin. Let's get violinists to volunteer, and every Valentine's Day we'll have something special there. It's something that we spend so much money for. I went through that. I'm still going through that AIDS war. I've lost 80 residents in my building, one last week. I'm sorry, but these people that say they help people with AIDS, I've lived with AIDS for 30 years, no one's ever helped me. No one's ever helped my residents. They all died pretty much lonely. We can change that. What I don't like is bullshit. Thank you. I hope to see you all on Valentine's Day sometime. During Valentine's Day, it's a Saturday night. Go to our new memorial for AIDS. And whatever you want to do, however you want to think about it, you want to bring flowers, whatever you want to do, spend some time in the park and reflect and think about all of the loved ones that we lost. And that's all I ask tonight. I don't need something from the mayor tonight to commemorate 25 years like you do. I didn't lose 25 or 50% of the businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And we are working on the proclamation for your organization.
Oh, sure. I don't know why you're so proud.
Justine Oken, to be followed by Anthony DiVgenio.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Justin Oken, and I'm the Executive Director of Rogue Machine Theater. I'm joined by Byron Cooley, the producer of our current show. We're here tonight to introduce you to our company and to express our desire to build a stronger relationship with the city of West Hollywood. Rogue Machine Theater is a not-for-profit theater company that's been producing bold, intimate, socially engaging work in Los Angeles for over 16 years. We're now proud to call the Matrix Theater on Melrose and Fairfax our home. While we're not within your city limits, we're right in your backyard, and we see ourselves as part of this community. Our mission has always been to tell stories that are urgent, human, and reflective of the world we're living in. That includes work centered on LGBTQ lives, chosen family, and intergenerational relationships. These aren't abstract ideas for us. They're the lived experiences of our artists, audience, and neighbors.
Over the last 17 years, Rogue Machine has become one of the most celebrated theater companies in Los Angeles. Just last week, we received the Los Angeles Drama Critics Circle Award for Outstanding Season, our 4th time receiving that honor. As LA Times critic Charles Minolti recently wrote, since moving into the Matrix Theater, Rogue Machine has consolidated its reputation as the city's leading 99-seat venue for inventive, hard-hitting drama. Our current production, My Son the Playwright, is a world premiere written and performed by local playwright and actor Justin Tanner. It's a funny, raw, and deeply honest piece about a father and son trying and struggling to connect. Justin Tanner is a member of the LGBTQ community, and that perspective is central to the play. It has resonated strongly with queer audiences, especially around the family and identity, while remaining relatable to anyone who's ever felt misunderstood by someone they love.
We want you to know that we have 2 things we want to say.
Speak right into the microphone, please.
We're very interested in having your residents join us for this production and productions to come. I've got some postcards for you. We also have complimentary tickets for those who cannot afford to go. You can find out more about us at roguemachinetheater.org. Thank you very much.
And you can give the tickets to our city clerk. And I think Andy Lovano is back in the audience. Can you raise your hand, Andy? She can connect you with our fine arts staff as well. And I apologize for butchering your name, Justin. Thank you very much.
Laura Byerly's here, so they should probably talk to Laura.
Is Laura here? I didn't. Oh, Laura is back there as well.
Sorry, I spotted
All right. Anthony, to be followed by Lynn, etc.
Buenas tardes. Yo hablo de mi corazón. Mi nombre es Antonio Reed Eugenio. Yo vivo allá en calle, arriba de la montaña, 966. Yo tengo un gato y perro. Mi casa es muy chiquito, pero mi cama es muy grande. Yo he hecho maybe 6 or 8 casos abajo en Ensenada, Rosarito, and Tijuana. We get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we swing a hammer, and we saw wood because there's no electricity. We're all in the dirt, and these beautiful little children dressed in white, we wonder how they stay so beautiful. I've done it for many years, and I'll continue to do that. That's how I give back to the Latin community. I'm proposing to the city to maybe have a pilot program where I can teach them from A to Z how to own their own cart. Here in the library, I can take one of the rooms, maybe 6 to 8 at a time. All the people that you have orchestrated over the weekend, since you have their list of names, maybe we could do a 3-part program, and we could exist for maybe 6 months and cover all of them. And ultimately, at the end, maybe award them with 1 or 2 carts. Maybe we could put them wherever Mr. Rivas wants, maybe 1 or 2 of them, and they could take turns operating it so they could have the American dream like your grandparents had and mine had, the right way and with love. I know that we're awfully angry with our commander-in-chief not recognizing things like World AIDS Day, which is terrible. I've lost a lot of friends. I've volunteered a lot of time at Being Alive. I've been here a long time. And Danny, if you'd like to think about that and be receptive to the idea, I'd be willing to work with you and do this. It would be a wonderful program. It would be educational for them. They could take this in life and apply that to something else of other kind of business so they could have a future, not just survive. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Lynn, etc. And then after Lynn, I think we have 6 more speakers and 2 on Zoom. If it's okay, we can go forward with those and get those out of the way.
I would have said if our more items were on consent maybe, but it's going to be a longer night than expected.
Okay. Lynn, to be followed by David Nash.
Lynn, etc., West Hollywood. In about a year, this decades-long failure of the first gay city in the world will be over. Chelsea, Danny, John Erickson, as in the movie, a quote, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are our last hope. What happens when negative self-serving energy is gone is the remnants of try to maintain the same dysfunction. If I may, I would like to offer some ideas on how you three may get reelected. I'm only going to speak one idea per meeting. The opposition's main focus to defeat you will be the Fountain Avenue bike reconstruction. My advice is any conversation about the project, one simply replies, it's a residential street with children, not a speedway. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. David Nash, to be followed by Mike Carter.
Thank you, David Nash, West Hollywood resident. First, I'd like to thank the mayor and say thank you for spending this last year in office till a break with us. I very much appreciated your speech on the inauguration day when you took time to mention that the city is aging and needs to be looked after in special ways. And your words about the national agenda, it does affect us greatly here in West Hollywood. Services have been diminished, and we'll continue to see the effect throughout his administration. I appreciate that you're trying to bring attention to those situations and make sure that they're addressed and compensated. Some of you know I'm one of the biggest fans of the West Hollywood Aquatic Center. It's a wonderful place, and if you haven't been up there on the 5th floor in the new building, it's just spectacular to see, to be there in the open air atmosphere. Stick your toe in the pool, and I guarantee you'll come back. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. Finally, I'd like to thank the city for sending me to Sacramento this week as one of the board members and commission members that are going up there to be introduced to the statewide legislature and have our issues and agendas addressed. I greatly appreciate being sent there, and I thank you so much for your support throughout the years. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Mike Carter, to be followed by Jesse Harris.
Greetings, everyone. I'm a WeHo Owls neighborhood watch captain, and this is our mascot, Ogden. In advance of the Planning Commission hearing, item 9A on 7811 project this Thursday, February 5th at 6:30 p.m., I respectfully submit to you that noticing and documentation for the 7811 project has been repeatedly misrepresented and misleading. Any public noticing illustrated the Santa Monica Boulevard frontage. Not illustrated is the fate of the Ogden and Orange Grove neighborhoods, bearing 60% of the project frontage. The project misrepresented again at the 2025 December DRS meeting, where the information packet showed on multiple pages an incorrect red footprint of a project with 10 sides instead of 12. The 1119 Ogden property had been partially absorbed by the project. For the 2023 iteration of 7811, an RDEIR was supplied stating that its land requirement was 50,000 square feet, when in its application it was responsible for 60,000 square feet. The 2019 DEIR was completely void of its land use section. Dog. Now comes 7811 announcing itself as eligible for state streamlining and no EIR. Its failures of objective standard hotel use and the probable volatile toxicity of its parcels cast much doubt. 7811 is a potential public safety and health hazard. This developer has a reputation for squandering entitlements. Come one, come all to see if the absolute floor will drop out of our municipal code on Thursday night, or if our PC practices due diligence and flexes its muscle. To all my union brothers and sisters, if you want to make a buck, support a good project. If you want housing, support a good housing project. We do too, but this one is a lemon. And happy Groundhog Day.
Thank you, Mike. Jesse Harris, to be followed by Michaela Saint.
Hello, council members and staff. Lovely to see you this evening.
My name is Jesse Harris. I live in the city of West Hollywood. I have lived here for 13 years, and I wanted to thank the council for the green bike lanes that are popping up on all of our, what we like to call Class 2 bicycle facilities, but really that just means a line of white paint on the road. And I think for a lot of cyclists, that line of white paint often doesn't feel very safe. As a person who's been the victim of traffic violence while riding my bicycle in what was certainly the most harrowing experience of my life, I want to thank this city for making sure that our existing bicycle infrastructure is made safer. Green bike lanes increase visibility. They reduce conflicts between drivers and cyclists, which of course is really important, especially at intersections, which are the highest point of contact for traffic violence between pedestrians, cyclists, and vehicles. So this is a thank you on behalf of the West Hollywood Bicycle Coalition, of which I'm a member. And I would especially like to thank Councilmember Erickson and Councilmember Byers for bringing the item forward last April, and the entire council for your unanimous support of what is an uncontroversial, low-effort way to make everyone on the road feel just a little bit safer. Thank you.
Thank you. Michaela Saint, to be followed by Stephanie Harker.
Hey guys. Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. All right. Let's
Please pull the mic forward so
This
we
one
can
right
all
here?
hear you. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Good evening, council members. I'm Michaela Saint, the owner of Batty Blast, a small mobile business. I did everything the city asked me to do. I went through the permitting process, paid the fees, made a real effort to operate compliantly. My dream is to open up a physical location and become licensed was a way for me to build trust with the city. With your help, my business was successful until sudden enforcement issues. Of course, I was always compliant and left alone afterwards. Nonetheless, the experience shakes my confidence, which affects my sales, concerns my customers, and damages the reputation I've worked very hard to uphold. I even received a vague $200 citation for roaming on the same sidewalks as dozens of unlicensed vendors. As someone who followed every step of the sidewalk vending process, my experience is disheartening. I reached out to staff to ask for guidance on where to operate successfully during nightlife hours when foot traffic actually exists. We struggled to find a solution. I mentioned a business pilot and was told this type of situation would require council support in order to move forward. That's why I'm here tonight. I would like to propose a business pilot opportunity for licensed sidewalk vendors. A pilot would be a practical way to test workable paths for licensed vendors who operate during nightlife hours without committing the city to anything permanent. I'm also the first new sidewalk vendor to be approved in many years. This means the current framework hasn't been tested under recent real-world conditions, especially in nightlife areas. I know the city of West Hollywood prides itself on fairness, diversity, and opportunity. As a new small business owner, I'm asking for your help. If I'm supported, more unlicensed vendors might be encouraged to do things the right way. Together, we can set an example of how the city of West Hollywood takes action for small businesses who follow the rules. That's it. No obnoxious alarm? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. Once again, I'm Michaela Saint.
And this is not on our agenda tonight, so we can't take any action tonight, but we will take into account your comments.
I just wanted you to hear. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate that. Stephanie Harker, to be followed by Helen Krieger.
Wasn't she fun? Stephanie Harker, City of West Hollywood. I'm here to speak about accessibility. And trying to get all people to adhere to the ADA is frustrating, to say the least. Please fall on deaf ears, both figuratively and literally. In my letter of 1/25/21 to Paul Arvello, went like this. Dear Paul, I've been asking and begging for several years now to have ASL interpreters at all the city's televised meetings, particularly in the time of COVID back then. With safety announcements going out all the time, do you think West Hollywood could provide this service to all residents without them having to make special requests? Stephanie Harker, City of West Hollywood. ASPS, ASL is the third most used language in the United States behind English and Spanish. I have also spoken to Aaron Taylor last year, our media and marketing manager. WehoTV does have picture-in-picture capability. Using this feature would only Using this feature would only require the purchase and installation of an additional camera in the council chambers for exclusive use by an American Sign Language interpreter. So I'm hoping that maybe 2026 is the year where we will reach out and include deaf people, profoundly deaf people. I know we have subtitles, but they are often and frequently incorrect. And many people who are profoundly deaf do not speak English. They use ASL. It would be like someone getting up here and signing to you and you didn't know what it was, even though you spoke English. So perhaps we could put that on our wish list for this year to include all deaf people for all televised meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Helen Krieger, and then we'll turn to the two comments on Zoom.
Hi, City Council. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm going to be really quick. I just wanted to thank you, along with Jesse Harris, for the green painted bike lanes, as we are now a little bit more than halfway through the work, it seems to me. There have been a lot of collisions between cars and bicycles. Unfortunately, that just keeps going up as people are distracted as they're driving, and having that visibility of those painted green bike lanes really does help people recognize that we belong there. It helps them see us, because often when there's a bike lane, the bikes go by so fast that it's easy to forget that they're there. They don't really pile up like traffic. So having that green bike lane, it helps people look before they open their door. It helps people look before they enter a lane as they're parking and as they're getting out of parking. So again, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And now we'll turn to our two speakers on Zoom.
Our first speaker is Kyle Brazil. Kyle, go ahead. Yes.
Look, in relation to item F5, I see Ken has rallied the West Hollywood Soccer Club board to show up, and I see it confirming exactly who initiated the effort to get this grant funding. But I think there are a few concerns that should be worked through. It seemed beforehand that maybe this had been more fleshed out before this meeting, but it seems across the organization speaking, nobody really knows what form this will take, whether this will be large grants to the organizations as a whole, or whether this will be individual grants to athletes. The way the proposal is written for the city, it sounds like there will just be individual grants of $1,000 to $2,500. You know, others were talking about $10,000+ grants to these organizations. Just to speak to where my concerns arise from, let's talk about the primary concern. I've been a participant in these tournaments, in these sports leagues for 10 years. I've gone to Las Vegas, San Diego, Palm Springs, and I know that the cost of these tournaments is not high. You're talking about less than $100 to participate in these tournaments. The real cost arises from transportation and hotel lodging in the host cities for tournaments. My main concern here is that we're subsidizing personal vacations of athletes who happen to be playing a sport while they're on vacation. It seems an inappropriate use of public funding to pay, for example, West Hollywood Soccer Club is going to the gay games this summer in Valencia, Spain. It seems highly inappropriate to me to subsidize the vacations to Spain of players that participate in that league. I would be concerned if funds get used that way. Their treasurer said that those funds won't be used that way, but right, you're just taking it out of the left pocket to pay the right pocket. The more funding this organization receives from the city, the less they need to use toward operating expenses, which means they can provide more fundraising and sponsorship for their athletes to take vacations. That would be a concern to me. Separately, I think you've got to ask, what are we really doing, even if that's not the case? Right, West Hollywood Soccer Club is not a West Hollywood organization. They do not play in West Hollywood.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Your time is up. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Your time is up.
Kyle, your time is up. Thank you.
And our last speaker is Adam Darvish.
Good evening, last but not least.
council and staff. Congratulations to you, Mayor Alman and Vice Mayor Hang, and also thank you, former Mayor Byers, for your service in the city. I'm Adam Darvish, a long-term resident. I'm calling in tonight to express support for people of Minneapolis and Huron that share deep similarities regarding the struggle against state-sanctioned violence, with both seeing fatal crackdowns on innocent people practicing their freedom of speech and their human rights. Over 30,000 innocent people in Iran were slaughtered on the street. More than 300,000 were injured with chemical weapons and laser guns that blinded their eyes, and over 30,000 in prison. And my own personal experience was just to get cut off on internet and phone calls to families, my mom and sisters back home. That was shocking. It is sad that the country that formed the Declaration of Human Rights almost 2,500 years ago, now to be an icon of the most severe human rights violation on the globe. I hope that we won't see that in the U.S. I often think that the U.S. is only 250 years old and wonder what would happen in 50 years or 100 years. Then again, I wish that that never happened here. But as a young kid that had to leave his own country and saw the change that happened overnight, I just feel that. I want to thank you for your service and protecting human rights and freedom of speech in our great city, and the work that you do, I know is important. And I want to hope for peace on earth in 2026 and forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. That completes our public comment, and thank you for your patience as we took more speakers and spent more time than we normally do. We'll now turn to our city manager's report. Jackie, you have a report for us.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and members of the public. I just have a few quick updates. Regarding West Hollywood Park lighting, an update on the West Hollywood Park lighting replacement. We will be working on this project that is currently undergoing plan check, and it is anticipated to be completed within the next 3 weeks. And upon completion, staff will release the work for bidding. This project will install lighting in the original locations as part of the design process. Staff is also collaborating with the recreation team to evaluate additional lighting options, allowing for the potential expansion of programming on the park lawn. This item is expected to return to City Council in April for consideration and award of an agreement for the installation of the lighting. And we appreciate the patience from all of our residents, but help is in the way. The Tipu tree removal, we continue to hear from residents regarding the planned removal of the infested trees in the northeast area of the city, and we appreciate the community's ongoing care and interest in maintaining a healthy urban forest. To support open dialogue and shared understanding, staff will be scheduling a meeting in the coming weeks to reconnect with the community, listen to concerns, and discuss the process moving forward. We also want to, we're happy to report that the restaurant grant program will launch this Friday, February 5th at 8 a.m. to support West Hollywood restaurants. This grant program will assist eligible West Hollywood restaurants with up to $12,500. And additional information, including eligibility criteria, is available at weho.org/business. And we have team from our economic development in the back, Laura and Paulo, so feel free to contact them for additional information. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the concern and anger that many people in the West Hollywood community are feeling following recent events in Minneapolis and in our own region throughout California related to federal immigration operations. This moment is painful and unsettling, and federal actions have raised serious concerns and renewed calls for accountability nationwide. I want to assure all of you that the City of West Hollywood is taking meaningful action to support immigrant communities by providing direct services, sharing multilingual Know Your Rights information, pursuing legal action to defend constitutional protections, and advocating for policies rooted in equity, inclusion, and public trust. More up-to-date information is available on the city's website at weho.org/know your rights. Those in need of services may contact the city's Human Services Division at 323-848-6510. And Mayor, this concludes my updates.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Meister, you had a question?
No, I just wanted to note my no vote on B7 and B8 before we voted on.
Okay, so we will now.
Mayor, I just have a couple of questions.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. I am too very, well, thank you, Jackie, for all of your comments, especially the last one regarding ICE and the community meeting regarding the tipu trees. I get stopped anytime I'm walking by Plummer Park, and these trees are beautiful, and it's really hard for the community, and so I think that was perfect, so thank you very much for doing that. I love the green bike lanes. However, if that is the color green that we waited what felt like a long time, 6 months to be exact, essentially we waited on Film LA to tell us we could do what we already could do and all of that. And so I feel like I got a gift, and now I'm like, I didn't really like it. But the green, the moment you crossed Santa Monica and Doheny, it has got a completely different color green. And it is very dull. You can still see it. But I will say that the color green isn't necessarily the color that pops in that way. And we have to do everything we can to really alert drivers, especially because they're non-protected. And so I know there will be a refresh coming at some point. And I would urge us to tell Film LA to take a long walk off a very short cliff, because they are the reason why this has occurred. And I don't believe any of the excuses that they gave us. And I would urge our city staff, no one's gonna stop filming in the city of West Hollywood. Sir, Lisa Vanderpump, every Real Housewives episode, people are gonna watch Heated Rivalry and film it, and it's gonna be on TikTok. It's gonna be there, right? I would just urge my favorite people, Steve and Helen, that if we could get a different green that actually makes a car say, oh, that's actually green, that's just not dirt, it would be much appreciated in that way. So I thank you for the green bike lanes, but it's a really bad green. So that's it. And I just, hopefully we can figure out a different solution. Yes, and then before the approval of the agenda, I too am under the Levine Act, just making sure I'm recused from B7 and B8 for the reflection of the minutes, Madam City Clerk.
Okay, great. So other questions for the city manager? Okay, we'll turn to the consent calendar. The consent calendar is a series of routine items that we approve with a single motion. And I can ask our city clerk, what is the fiscal impact of the consent calendar as it's been amended?
Thank you, Mayor. The fiscal impact on tonight's consent calendar, with the addition of items F3 and F4 and the removal of item B9, is $595,110 in expenditures, $9,500 in revenue, and $10,000 in waived fees. And with that, I will take a motion and a second to approve tonight's consent calendar.
Noting Councilmember Meister's no vote on B7 and B8, and noting Councilmembers Erickson's recusal on those items as well.
Thank
so
you.
We have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and call the roll. And the consent calendar is now approved. Thank you. And we will now turn to whatever is next on our agenda, which is the public hearing before us. And can I ask our city clerk how this public hearing was noticed?
As required by law, Mayor.
I thought it was going to be noticed that way. And do we have any speakers on this item?
We do not.
Okay, so I don't know that we need a staff report. This is the adoption of our building code by reference, and Does anyone need any further staff report? No. Okay. So we will go ahead. There is a motion to adopt, and you'll read the title.
Yes, thank you. An ordinance of the City of West Hollywood adopting by reference Title 26 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Building Code 2025 edition, Title 27 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Electrical Code 2025 edition, Title 28 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Plumbing Code 2025 edition, Title 29 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Mechanical Code 2025 edition, Title 30 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Residential Code 2025 edition, Title 31 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Green Building Standards Code 2025 edition, Title 33 of the Los Angeles County Code, incorporating the California Existing Building Code edition 2025, add the California Historical Building Code edition 2025, making amendments to said codes, amending chapters 13.04, 13.08, 13.12, 13.16, 13.20, and 13.24, 13.26, and 13.44 of Title 13 of the West Hollywood Municipal Code and finding the action exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
So there is a motion on the floor to close the public hearing and adopt this. Is there any further discussion? Then I think we're ready to take a vote. Thank you, Ben and Nick, for that exciting report. All right, we don't have any legislative actions tonight, so we'll move to unfinished business. The first item is the appointment of city council members as delegates and alternates to various organizations, committees, conferences, and the like. So some of these are already established. And Melissa, can you lead us through this?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, it's new business, sorry. There
That's
was
okay.
no unfinished
No
business,
unfinished
and we're
business.
moving on to new business.
We know what you meant.
My colleagues are keeping me honest tonight.
Okay. So the first one is the sanitation district number 4. The mayor is the city's delegate. Do we have a nomination, or would someone like to volunteer as the appointed alternate?
Looks like Councilmember Byers has done a fantastic job in her, and it is on her calendar, so I highly enthusiastically recommend and nominate her.
And you're willing to do it? Okay, any?
Can you make the meetings?
I can make some of them.
We're making
Yes.
them, they're remote now at City Hall.
Yes.
Thank God.
So,
Okay, great.
okay. So the mayor is automatically the
Correct.
delegate or the representative, and Councilmember Byers will be our alternate.
Perfect.
Go ahead, I'll let you lead us through this.
Thank you. California Contract Cities Association. So typically we have attending council members. So I believe one of them will be the president of that association. So would that individual like to be?
This would be a great moment to be like, no. But yeah, sure, I'll keep doing it.
Okay.
All right, so
do we have
Councilmember
an
Erickson will
Erickson?
be our
Delegate.
and then,
An alternate?
Hang had been.
okay,
Okay.
all right. Vice Mayor Hang
Vice
will
Mayor
be the
Hang.
alternate.
Clean Power Alliance, which is currently council members Byers and Erickson.
Other way around. He's the
Delegate alternate. Do we want to keep it that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone is okay with that?
Unless, if you would like to go to downtown.
No.
No, okay.
So
It always gets you when you have to realize where, and for the public's awareness, the sanitation meeting is in Whittier. So have fun. There you go. Love Whittier, but you know.
All right.
So Councilmember Erickson will be our delegate and Councilmember Byers will be our alternate. County City Selection Committee, the mayor is automatically our delegate. Do we have a council member who wishes to be the alternate?
I think one of the problems is that we don't know when the meetings are. They're scheduled when they have a need, and typically we have just gone with whoever is available for that meeting.
And what I can say is a lot of these are available virtually, and especially with new legislation, more may be moving to virtual meetings, so.
Is anyone willing to be the alternate for this?
You were at it, weren't you, Councilmember Byers?
Okay, Councilmember Byers again?
Yeah.
Everyone's okay with that?
California Joint Powers Insurance Authority, so we have a council member delegate, and then I, and along with our senior risk management analysts, are the alternates to CGPIA.
And
It's
this-
once a year.
Once a year, typically in July, I believe.
Correct.
In La
It's
Palma.
In La Palma, that's the hang up. But you can participate virtually if you would like.
I am doing it. Well, I'm there. I'll never go to La Palma, so I know you. I've always gone on my behalf.
Or Stephanie.
Or Stephanie. Thank you,
Mhm.
Stephanie.
Yes.
I'm happy to keep it. If someone else wants JPIA and just can't wait to go to La Palma, I'm happy to give it up.
I don't mind doing it, but if you
No,
want
please,
to,
take
okay.
it. I don't even know where La Palma is.
Yeah.
And I really don't. I said that last year. I still haven't gone. It's far.
Yes,
No,
it
I
is
know
far.
it's far.
It's
That's why I'm
far.
like, oh, let me
It's-
go to La Palma on a Thursday or whatever it is.
Let's
Wednesday.
not create some challenges
Just
with
with
our
La Palma.
Other cities that were.
I welcome a La Palma challenge. That would be fun.
It's a
Okay.
beautiful campus.
I'm sure it is. It's beautiful. Apologies to the city of La Palma.
So I'll be the delegate, but will likely be represented by staff at that.
Yes.
Okay.
National League of Cities, again, typically the attending council members.
I think because of Councilmember Byers being the first vice chair of the National Transportation Committee, I would like to nominate her to be the delegate if she wants to do another one. But you know,
Yeah.
I'm there already.
You're willing to do it?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Hang, you would be the alternate?
Okay.
Okay. And we can always change if our
Yes, we
schedules
can.
don't allow us to attend.
100%. Santa Monica Bay Watershed.
I'm happy to keep. Oh, I'm the West Side City's cog rep.
Your watershed too.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And do we need an alternate for that, or can we use staff?
Staff can do it.
Andy can do it.
Okay.
Where's Andy? Sorry, we're just gonna throw people. There you go. Sorry.
Volunteering.
And then we have the Southern
SCAG.
California Association of Governments.
Yeah, I think it's my.
Councilmember Meister, or Councilmember
Byers.
Byers is currently that.
I'm happy to be the alternate. I'm gonna be down there for contract cities this year.
Okay.
as a reason.
Okay. And then we have the COG, which
The
I
West
believe.
Side Cities Council of Governance.
We hopefully
Byers.
have our next chair over here, Councilmember Byers, so I would love to nominate her.
I think I was the alternate.
Do you
so-
want to remain the
yeah,
alternate?
I'll remain the alternate.
Okay. So that's Byers and Mayor Heilman. Okay, so that's all of our outside organizations.
The California League of Cities, I think got
We
skipped.
do that when it comes,
Okay.
and then I put it down. But as you know, they've canceled the meeting for the last 2 years. So it's just because typically there are 2 council members at least that attend, and so then we adopt the resolution appointing one of them to vote. But they haven't had a resolution to vote on the last 2 years.
And we're all going in April.
Correct. So there's a contingency. Okay, so Finance and Budget Subcommittee is the mayor and vice mayor.
Okay.
And Pride Subcommittee is the mayor and vice mayor. So then Homelessness Subcommittee, again, which is one of our standing subcommittees, meets every other month at 8:30 in City Hall.
So I've been doing it along with Councilmember Byers. Is everyone okay with us continuing? Okay. So
Okay. So we'll
We'll
maintain
continue as
status
is.
quo. Okay.
Plummer Park Project Committee?
Yes.
I love working with my colleague on that one. That's the one thing that we love. So we've been doing it since.
Okay. So it's Councilmember Meister
Yeah.
and
Erickson
Councilmember
Yeah, we have a
Harrison.
great old time.
Okay.
We do.
Hart Park Phase 2.
Visioning.
Give the Gallagher Park.
Meister
you
and
and Danny.
Hang, I believe. Yeah.
Who is it? I'm sorry.
Councilmember Meister and Councilmember Hang.
Vice Mayor Hang.
Oh, Vice Mayor, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Meister has a monopoly on the parks, so.
Okay. Laurel House Project Subcommittee?
She there too? Yeah.
It's Meister and Vice Mayor Hang.
Okay. And then San Vicente Streetscape Subcommittee.
That's me and
You, yeah, that's
Chelsea,
right.
sorry,
Okay.
Councilmember Byers.
And so we want to keep it?
We haven't had a meeting in several years.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
hoping for that grant funding.
Okay. So now the newest one, which is the rent stabilization ordinance ad hoc.
I thought we had
We
talked
just
about.
got appointed, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we wanna keep-
Councilmember Byers and myself.
Okay.
And we were waiting until we had a director of the division, and we now do. So I think
Yes.
it's time for us for staff to schedule that meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else that you need from us?
No, thank you.
Okay, so all of those appointments have been done, and we don't need a motion for that?
We do because we have a resolution that we're
Oh,
adopting.
that's right, the okay. So we will go ahead and pass that resolution appointing us to those various committees. Yes, the external ones need a resolution, correct. All right, we are done with that. And now we'll turn to item F2. These are appointments to Historic Preservation Commission and the Social Justice Advisory Board. And I believe Vice Mayor Hang, are you ready to make those appointments tonight?
I am, sir.
Oh, great, thank you.
Vice Mayor Hing, who is your appointee to the Historic Preservation Commission?
I would like to nominate Amy's V to HPC.
Okay. And you have your direct appointment to the Social Justice Advisory Board.
Thank you. And I would like to nominate Morgan Ramos to Social Justice.
Wonderful. So both of those individuals will serve until February 28th of 2027. Thank you.
Okay, and then F3 and F4, we move to consent, correct? So that brings us to F5, and we had a number of public speakers on this item, so I see them popping up, but we already took those at the beginning. So Chelsea, this is your item. Do you want to explain it, and then we can have comments and conversation?
Sure, thank you. And thanks first to all the public commenters who came out tonight. As was reflected in one of their comments, there are a number of sports-based league, or West Hollywood-based sports leagues and clubs. Soccer club was reflected tonight, the Run Club tonight, but there are so many who have, and many of which have already had an established relationship with the city, using our facilities, coming to the city in often cases for one-off funding requests, support for different events that they may be participating in. What I wanted to do was create a streamlined program where any of these clubs that meet eligibility requirements would be able to apply for funding support from the city. This would also, I think, help create an eligibility framework that allows clubs to be able to utilize and access the facilities under a same sort of nonprofit or established club athletics programs rate. But really, I think the eligibility framework is key to this and making sure that it encompasses the range of these clubs and organizations that are often, as they named, volunteer in essence, really pooling together funds to uplift their community work in the name of West Hollywood. I have also recognized that over the years, these one-off requests can become a budget challenge or concern to this council. And so by creating a pool of resources that we can not even have to bring to council, but just so through staff discretion, be able to implement and push back out into the community, I think streamlines a lot of the work that we've been managing and some of the complications of what it means for one club to come to one council member and get support while other ones aren't able to do that because of limitations in budget. So that's my request tonight. It's a modest starting place, I think, for a fund, especially in recognizing how many sports leagues fall under this umbrella. I'm hearing from some of the types of requests that they're looking to or opportunities ahead. I'd be interested to know that this could be something that can grow and evolve to in years ahead. But that's sort of the starting place. I appreciate you welcoming the conversation tonight.
Okay. Other council member comments? I think you had comments, Council Member Meister.
So I was just wondering first about how many clubs are are West Hollywood based.
And the based is the tricky part. There are some that are West Hollywood in name. There are many that use the clubs or the facilities here, but may, as was noted, use Fairfax High School as their fields. So I think that is an eligibility requirement in the same way that I think our artist grants, even if they're not inside, but sort of consider West Hollywood a part of the community, are using facilities within a certain range outside of the city limits, that sort of the thing. But many of these are using West Hollywood in their name in some degree, and that was a starting place for me.
Yeah, that would be like something that I would
Essential.
want, is that they be West Hollywood based and it is in their name. So that would be the definition, I guess, of that would be part of the definition of closely connected. But I think we have to have, very specific definition of closely connected when staff comes back, because they could be telling multiple cities that they're closely connected with those cities because they play in various cities. I would also assume they have to be 501c3 nonprofits, otherwise this might be a gift of public funds. And maybe that's a question for the city attorney.
Yes, we can look at that. The main test for a gift of public funds is whether or not there's a stated public purpose that's identified as part of the expenditure, but we can look into your question as to whether or not they must be nonprofits.
Okay, and then when you say individual awards of $1,000 to $2,500, I assume that you meant the club, not individual players.
Correct.
Okay, so I just
Yeah,
wanted
the
to
club would
clarify
be-
that
yeah.
because there was a question by the public.
Right, and I think it was also clarified by the treasurer of the club, who was sort of, addressing that comment too.
Okay, so we're talking about 10 to 15,000 annually in total to start. Okay, great. And then just, the fact that there was something in the staff report about them representing West Hollywood. Just want to make sure also that in whatever comes back, that that we can ensure that they are promoting West Hollywood values, that if they're representing West Hollywood, it's in a way that it's acceptable to the city. And that has to be very clear what that means. So those were my concerns. Thank you.
Yeah, Councilmember Erickson.
Thank you. I'll do a couple of just reminders of what the city's already done. So the city has given numerous dollars to multiple orgs for things that define West Hollywood based, who live, work, and play in West Hollywood. I think if that's good enough for the last 40 plus years, especially if we've given hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars out like that, I think that's good for me to be based and how that works out. I know all of these clubs are closely connected to our nightlife community as well as our giving back community. Many of them give back to social service agencies that we all know and love, some of which were mentioned here tonight, and they all do those types of charitable aspects. And representing WeHo, I mean, we have done, and I know the mayor himself has done so much work to promote sports tourism, especially when it comes to out athletes, especially going to Paris last year when I was mayor and what that meant for Pride House. And so I think that significant investment lays to this as well. And also this council did unanimously pass an ad hoc sports tourism commission, which is exactly where these organizations should actually be on a body that can actually help continue the way. It's unfortunate that we are so small, so that way we can't have a soccer field, and you have to go to Poinsettia Park or something like that. It's fine. Or, we have other places that refuse to use their public facilities in the same way that we do, or maintain the public facilities in that way. So I think, and I richly support this item, being the first out athlete at my college, and knowing what that is, as well as being an individual as the first out athlete in the Hall of Fame of the Wisconsin Volleyball Conference. I additionally think 15 is too low. I would actually like to see if the makers of the motion would go up to 30,000. I think that money, while I think modest, and I appreciate the conservative look at it, and if at some point when we get our new fancy council funds, Whatever that is, I'm happy to dedicate my own funds if it needs to come from there to make that item, because I think this is an important item, because I see 50 to 100 to 150 people almost every Saturday, Sunday, Friday during the week at Gym Bar, at High Tops, at the Abbey. They're always somewhere, and they're really funny names and on their t-shirts. And I just have to say, I am quite offended by the classist remarks by some members of the public that make it seem like these things are cheap. I used to play out loud sports. I used to go to kickball when it was in Vegas, and not only was it thousands of dollars out of my own pocket to go stay in a hotel, register, and do all that, of which went back to the running of the organization. I was working at the city making like thank you for this, $90,000 a year. I had healthcare. We're very happy about it, you know. But that was still money that I invested to be a part of a community. I know not everyone may be welcome in certain communities, and that's why these communities are so important. So I just have to state that while some people may be able to afford things because they're rich or they work at a rich job, I don't think that's true for everyone. And I think if we're looking at the affordability crisis, or if we're looking at the type of issues that are impacting young people, millennials, today, anything that we can do to help organizations who are really volunteer-led, this is the thing that we should be doing. And I'm really thankful to my colleagues. I do support this. And hey, holding it made me want to give you more money. So there we go. So I would, if the makers of the motion, there's two of you, would accept, after my other colleagues have their say, an increase of funds and giving that direction to city staff, I would be supportive of that, and I'm happy to go up, if my other colleagues agree, up to $30,000, because I think this money's going to go fast, because I know that these organizations rely on these dollars quickly, and they spend them really frugally. And I do know the treasurer who spoke, and he's a class act, and I know that every dollar that they raise for everything goes to support players, to register, to travel to Palm Springs and back in a day. And so I just appreciate this, and I hope the council unanimously supports this and puts its values where its mouth is.
Thank you. Just to clarify, there is no motion at this time. Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank my colleague for bringing this item forward. I appreciate the spirit of this item. It reinforces the city's commitment to health, to wellness, and inclusivity. And it definitely recognizes the value that sports brings to our community. It's an anchor for our community, bringing all these different sports teams together. And just like my colleague just said a few minutes ago, I have been out, I have seen these sports teams patronize our restaurants, our establishments in the city after their games. They bring sometimes 30, 40, 50 people, and they're just reinvesting back in our community. And we have to do what we can to bring our community together, and sports is it. We have the Olympics coming up. We can use this as an example of how we can give back to our community. And like Councilmember Byers said earlier, you know, this pretty much formalizes support that's structured, transparent, and sustainable. Instead of each organization coming to each individual council member for support, if we establish a system in place, and it would bring equity to all the sports, all the different types of sports leagues here in the city. And I am amenable to my colleague to actually increase the funding for this item as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to Councilmember Byers for bringing this forward. Thank you to the speakers who spoke earlier. I think this concept is a great concept of partnering with local sports entities. These organizations promote health, they promote exercise, they promote connection and community. And as somebody who has participated previously in volleyball, a gay volleyball league, as well as participated in the Front Runners for many years, I understand the importance of these organizations and their service to the community. There are, I think, as Councilmember Byers recognizes, there still are a lot of questions that need to be addressed. what organizations will qualify, what kind of connection to the city do they need to have. There also are questions about how these funds can be utilized so that we don't violate the prohibition on making a gift of public funds. And I think one of the public speakers spoke about not funding people's transportation or trips to events in other cities. I think that's a question that still needs to be resolved. Is that part of the funding that can part of the funding be used for that purpose, or does it need to be used solely for the organization? I think there are questions about what is the appropriate level of funding, as well as ways that we might be able to generate support from our business community to support some of these organizations. And I know many of the organizations do rely on our businesses to host fundraisers and do other events to raise money to help send people to these out of town and sometimes out of the country competitions. So I'm very supportive of the concept. I do think that the amount here is probably too small given the number of sporting organizations that serve the community. But and if I understand the direction here, it really is to give direction to staff to come up with the parameters of such a program and move forward with at least the level of funding that you've set forth here. So if that's the understanding of the people who've made the motion and seconded, I can support it. But I think, as I said, there still are some unanswered questions.
Yeah, and I think I'm happy with that language. I think my only difference would be in understanding that the $15,000 is the floor, not the ceiling.
Correct. I think that's clear from
You could
the
say
discussion here.
15 up to 30, or in that whatever viable understanding that staff comes back.
At least 15.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let them come back and tell us how many actual clubs there are and answer all these other questions that we have.
Yeah. And of course, they, until they figure out the eligibility criteria, they're not going to be able to know which entities are going to be eligible or not. So I think we can go forward and adopt the motion with the understanding that we're giving direction to staff to help us answer many of those questions and come back with recommendations. Okay. Any further discussion? There is a motion and a second. Can we go forward with a vote on this? You didn't go yet. There you go. All right.
Thank you all.
So thank you for bringing that forward. We'll now turn to item F6, and this is your item, Councilmember Erickson, and I know Councilmember Meister, you had some comments on this. Do you want to give a brief report?
I'm happy to. I think the item's fairly
Okay, so
Yeah.
Councilmember Meister.
Yeah, no, I don't, I mean, this is not unusual. For example, the city of Los Angeles has a group of interfaith for their emergency management department. They convene on occasion. I did want to suggest to you that actually it's very hard to keep them engaged. They don't show up for meetings, but I think it has to be really focused, and I don't know that one meeting a year then is going to actually keep them engaged. So I know we don't want staff to have to spend a lot of time on this, but I just want us to really think about if we're doing a program, if it's just one meeting a year, that's really not going to do it. And I would like to suggest that we limit the topics starting out so that it's more focused. For example, as the city of LAEMD does, it's emergency preparedness. Maybe we include homelessness and the resource sharing to start, rather than making it a gigantic list of topics that one meeting is not going to cover.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councilmember Meister. This item came about through conversations with different faith groups, Colamy, as well as my own priest at St. Victor's, who is at every community meeting now as a result. I'm very thankful for that. And he wanted to be of service and offer up St. Victor's as an option. I know we oftentimes have gathered at Colamy as well. And I know when we all transition into, the role as mayor, most of us always meet with the new rabbi. They do have the new rabbi there now, which has been wonderful, and they've been active. Also, I'm totally, emergency management was definitely a topic of issue when I was talking to Father John Paul, specifically if there was ever a horrible incident that happened in West Hollywood. He always says to me, people can always come here, gather, and we can get everyone together to talk or to make sure that we're giving out resources. So I think that's a great suggestion. I didn't want to be too stringent with what we were doing because I know that they were kind of already offering some of this. I definitely think homelessness, I think that's something if they're willing to talk about it a little bit more, what they're doing, they already do offer services, and I know that they give away and talk about a lot of the city services. And then, any type of communication, community response need is always helpful to have faith-based leaders there. I remember at the Prop 8 rally, and we're already going back when everyone came back from DC, we had multiple faith-based leaders there, and so activating them very quickly. And it's really not limited to many people. I mean, we have St. Ambrose, who's always been very active in the city. We have our other Jewish synagogue that's now at the Old Methodist Church that's right there that is having more and more people. And so I'm open to having staff make and do the reach out, but I know there are several people that have expressed that interest. So I'm happy to express that, happy to have a spring and a fall meeting to see where we can do it and go from there.
I had some similar concerns. I think we need, and this item directs staff to create this not advisory board, sorry, but this roundtable. I think there needs to be greater clarity as to what we're asking of this group. Are we asking for input from them about city policies? Are we trying to create a mechanism for us to communicate to their members social service programs or city policies or emergency resources? Are we trying to create partnerships for social services? So I think before we move forward with the roundtable, I hope that staff will give some thought and work with you as well to develop greater clarity as to what the point is of this. And engaging our faith leaders is a great idea, but as Councilmember Meister said, I think people start to lose interest unless we have a clear understanding, and they have a clear understanding of what that service entails.
I completely agree, Mayor Heilman, and I think all of the above for what you're saying. I think starting small, as Councilmember Meister, is something maybe of potential if it is successful in that way. There for the last 4 years now, 3 years, St. Victor's holds, a mayor's mass where they invite council members, elected officials, the current mayor, hopefully you'll go, to sit in service. And then there's a community breakfast and everything where people get to meet the members of the church, and it's not just open to Catholics or anything else like that, even though St. Victor's is my proud home church. But I think that ultimately, I love that idea of what that means and how we can get better, because even though they may religiously and observe here in West Hollywood, getting them as much information to be servants of goodwill is always a wonderful option as well.
So it sounds like maybe the principal point would be for us to provide information, as well as for them to provide information about the needs in their community and explore partnerships.
Yeah, and I would welcome all of my colleagues, because I'm sure, I will be helping with this, but if you have ideas, I would welcome any suggestions to staff so we can make sure this is successful in whatever way.
All right. Any further discussion? Are we ready to make a motion? There's a motion and second that we direct staff to create an interfaith leaders roundtable. There was some discussion and direction. I think staff heard that. And if there's no further discussion, we can go ahead and vote. All right, that is approved. And now we have another item, F7. And this is Councilmember Erickson and Byers. Do you want to give a brief report on this?
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. You know, I've struggled with this item for a while in understanding our city's response to how we are protecting residents, but our city's response and I think our promise to residents who may not have access to understanding of what we're using with data. And I think data has become something that is thrown out there and saying it's data and it's out there and who's using it, who's buying it, who's selling it. And there's a lot of unanswered questions. You know, I used to be, for the record, no longer, president of the ACLU of Southern California, the board, and, we had known a lot of these issues that were going on with a lot of camera services. That's why a lot of red light laws changed and are now being moved back, but other camera type of technology and surveillance technology, and it's really become that way. Yes, we are always being watched by our phones or being targeted in some way, shape, or form. But in understanding some of the research that has been done around Flock and other groups, I am gravely concerned at who is using, who is owning, and how this data is or is not being potentially shared with ICE. There are numbers of articles that make a very clear picture about the irregularities present. Flock, and understanding this is obviously trying to protect their product, and I gotta respect that. But I think as a city, we can adjourn in the memory of Alex Preddy and have the potential to have an understanding that we have a very lucrative agreement and are expanding a camera agreement with an organization that is itself not really cooperating even with their own city staff on those reasons. Now, I am concerned that LASD is potentially using or misusing this data, so we need to get to the bottom of it. And I think before we make any major decisions, this is asking us to get all the data, to understand what's actually going on, to make sure our public safety camera data and access is not shared with any federal immigration enforcement agencies. It's dangerous. And so we need to be a city that upholds, I think, that promise to look into this. And I had a big change of heart about this when I talked to Councilmember Byers, who I know has been long saying this. And so publicly, I want to apologize to her because I think that it is understanding that the severe harm that we are doing to those who might not actually be understanding of what the threats are to ICE right now. And what they're doing to our communities and tearing our communities apart. And so I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to understand it. We're not terminating anything tonight, but I at least want to have the data so we can be as public and transparent with the public, and also then make sure that we're doing everything right and upholding our city's values, virtues, and morals. So, Councilmember Byers, if you want to say anything else.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Thank you for initiating this, bringing me on board. We have low confidence issues when it comes to the vendor in question. And I think that's really the issue that I continue to have in this circumstance. We as a city have very limited opportunities to act in the non-cooperative type of way. We have to be operating with our federal government. Our federal government is asking and forcing compliance in every way possible to their immoral, unjust, and what will be unlawful actions. And cooperation in this sort of frame right now looks like leveraging tools and information that cities like ours have created access to. Flock is our vendor that we use for our automated license plate readers. And that vendor has not been able to answer questions, not just in our city, not just in conversations we've had with our sheriff's department, but in many other cities. And to the extent that police chiefs around the country, not just thrust by direction from their council, but on their own accord, are choosing to turn off those cameras because it is one way they can act in strategic non-cooperation with what we're being asked to do by this federal government, to continue to see our immigrant neighbors and even citizens of this own country kidnapped off the street or worse, murdered. So this is one very clear way that as a city, we can take matters into our own hands by recognizing that this partner, this vendor, that we have employed with this technology has not answered our questions or the questions of many other cities across this country to the extent that we have confidence that we can trust. And to me, this is the matter before us, is who we are choosing to work with, how much trust we can put in them to uphold the values of our city, a sanctuary city that has said we will choose to protect our immigrant neighbors and do everything possible. So that's what this really comes down to. We recognize that these cameras have provided safety mechanisms for our own community's needs, and this is part of the problem that this federal government has thrown us into. What they are calling public safety is harming our local communities in such devastating ways that we are making consequential decisions around investments we have made in our own technology here. And this is a difficult decision that we have to wrestle with as a council, and we see councils across this country wrestling with it. Tonight, the police chief of Mountain View, California, our neighbors to the north, issued his own statement and decision turning off the cameras ahead of a discussion council was putting in place. That's able to happen at the police chief level in a city that has its own police. We operate as part of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, one of 44 cities that are part of that. It's a much more complicated process for us to create that sort of certainty within our law enforcement structure to maneuver those conversations, and that's why this item's before us tonight. So thank you so much, again, Councilmember Erickson, for bringing this to us.
Other council member discussion or comments? I will raise concerns here. Obviously, I think everyone on this council is appalled by the criminal actions of the federal government, the targeting of immigrants, the targeting of protesters. I think this item, as I'm interpreting it, is asking staff for additional information about how the flock cameras are used and how the data from those cameras could be accessed. I do not support getting rid of those cameras. I think we would be endangering the safety of our residents by doing so. There are a lot of cameras. There are cameras in this room. I don't think we would be recommending that we cut off the cameras for the council meetings. I don't think we would recommend that all of the businesses that have security cameras get rid of them. All of the information on those cameras can be accessed legally through a subpoena. And we've had incidents, just one this weekend, where a resident was assaulted on Robertson Boulevard. And I think the camera technology that we invested in was a way of trying to not only protect our residents, but ensure that when those kind of incidents occur, that the Sheriff's Department and our public safety staff have the tools to identify the perpetrators who are coming into our community and engaging in acts of violence. I share the concerns that both of you have about the potential misuse of the information, and I think we all share the concern about what's happening at the federal level, and we certainly don't want to participate in that in any way or assist it in any way. But I also don't think we want to get rid of all of the technology that we have, that we've invested in to try to keep our community safe.
If I may provide clarity before.
Yes, but Vice Mayor Heng is next.
Sure.
Are you okay with Chelsea making a comment here? Okay. Yeah.
This item isn't specific about all cameras. It's specific to the cameras that are utilized by the vendor Flock, which are the automated license plate readers. As I understand it in the staff report, the real-time watch center and the pilot program for the fixed cameras is not even active yet. So what we're only talking about are the automated license plate readers, not any of the other cameras on businesses, specifically the cameras or the camera technology underutilization by a vendor who continues to be very loose with their data, at the very least.
Okay, thank you.
That is correct.
Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Rivas, may I ask you some questions, yourself and Captain, if possible?
No. Our Public Safety Director, Danny Rivas, and our Sheriff's Captain, Fanny, is here. Are here. Thank you.
Thank you. I just had a couple of questions. What is Flock's policy with regards to data retention? Like, what is in the actual contract with the city?
So the contract in terms of data retention currently is 30 days.
And then what about disclosure of data?
So in terms of disclosure, that is left to the designated administrator. So the designated administrator for the city currently is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, West Hollywood Station, command staff.
And what is the sheriff's position in terms of disclosing any such data? What is the department policy?
We do not share any data specifically with any federal agents or ICE on that. And the only people that have access to the cameras is station personnel.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did the Board of Supervisors carry and introduce some motions to direct the sheriff to not comply, or is that?
I would have to look into that. I don't have an answer for that, sir.
Understood, thank you. That is all, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple. Do they want to stay here? If I have a couple questions.
I think Councilmember Erickson has a question or two.
Thank you. Do you have a policy or anything in place regarding data retention and AI usage?
We have a policy for data retention as far as anything of evidentiary value, yes. And as far as AI, we don't use AI.
Okay, but there is a potential, I think, that I'm pretty sure that there is an AI issue going on at the county with LASD, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to look into that.
Okay. Danny, has Flock told you, or have their lawyers told you, that they do not and have not cooperated or do not cooperate with ICE?
I haven't spoken with legal counsel from Flock, but the representatives that we have met with twice already have mentioned that, that they do not have a contract with ICE and that they have not shared data.
But if ICE subpoenaed their data and threatened to sue them, do they have a legal strategy that they can share with the city and what they would do?
So yeah, we haven't discussed that yet, but I think as a part of this item, we certainly would work with the city attorney's office and request that information from Flock.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Councilmember Meister, were you?
Oh,
okay.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
And I just, thank you, I'm done with all of my wonderful friends. I just wanted to quickly respond. I understand, and that's why I don't take this item lightly, Mayor Heilman, but I want to remind people that that horrific act that happened on Robertson this past weekend, the only reason we have the license plate number is because of a Good Samaritan, not because of any of our cameras, and the individual still is not caught in that way as well. And most of the time, even when we have this on video, the individuals are uncaught. I'm reminded of multiple incidents as a result.
Thank you. Councilmember Meister.
I guess, and this may be a question for Danny Rivas, but are there other companies that do what Flock does, are we limited to Flock with these types of cameras?
In terms of the license plate reader cameras?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, there are other companies out there, and we actually have one other company that we've been utilizing prior to Flock at one of the intersections in our city currently.
Okay, and the cameras are not Flock's cameras, they're our cameras or LASD's cameras? They're not, in other words, if we wanted to change vendors at some point, if we find that they're not acceptable, can we change without a lot of, problem with the cameras?
Well, we would have to go through a process, more than likely, a request for proposal process, so there will be time. But yes, I mean, to answer your question, there are other vendors, and we can definitely pursue another selected vendor to provide a license plate reader cameras.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. We're not deliberating yet, are we?
No.
I can hold off.
Okay. What I'm hearing from this discussion is that there are some serious concerns about this particular vendor with license plate readers and a desire to direct staff to ensure that the data that is collected is not being shared with the federal government, is not being shared with ICE, and that we have in place the best protections available if we continue with this vendor. I do sense that at least one of my colleagues didn't support this program to begin with, and I think maybe another is not completely supportive of the license plate reader program now. And I think we need some assistance maybe from our city attorney and with our public safety staff to review our existing agreement to ensure that the protections that are in place are the strongest protections available, and then we can have a discussion if we want of whether to continue even with those protections. Does that sound like where we're at with this?
I mean, the way I read the item is that it's directing staff to review the current agreement with Flock and their practices, and then to return to us for next steps. So I don't see it as terminating anything at this moment.
Yeah, no, I don't, yeah, that's not really before us tonight to terminate.
Exactly. So, I mean, I would be supportive of having staff, and I actually thought from a previous email from Danny Rivas that we were already doing that. So I don't have a problem with continuing to review that and have our city attorney look at it and then making an informed decision.
Okay. And Councilmember Byers.
Yeah, I do think that this is a modest step. Again, cities have already made a decision to turn off their cameras. That doesn't mean terminate their contract. That doesn't mean get rid of the cameras. It means recognize that we have enough information from cities across the country who are facing the same level of immigration threats and working with the same vendor, that they have already made a decision to turn off their cameras to protect their community in the face of immoral immigration proceedings by our federal government. This is one of the few and specific ways we as a city can take action to be in non-compliance and non-cooperation with the federal government. And I think we should not wait to make the decision that many cities have already made in turning off those cameras. If we need 30 more days to review a contract and then have another discussion and then make a decision, then so be it. But this has been the same statement that has been made at this dais by myself, by members of the public, for, I mean, multiple years now. And my support from the program was always about data retention, how little we were able to trust a vendor, and what threat that would cause in the face of a government like our federal government now, who is going to find every slippery slope to use information against our own public. So that is my set of concerns. I appreciate you hearing me out tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. So I appreciate the spirit of the item. I mean, like you said earlier, Mayor, all of us up here are horrified by what's been happening at the federal level in every community. So I do appreciate the spirit of this item in terms of reviewing the contract and possibly closing any loops if staff can come back to the council with types of options to ensure that data isn't inappropriately distributed out. And I guess the city attorney can chime in as well with that. But it is worth looking into. I do appreciate the spirit of this item, so I want to thank my two colleagues for bringing it forward, because this is a challenging time, and we need to do what we can to protect our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Erickson, and then I think we should move to a vote.
I think the saddest part about this item is that we now have to assume all of these tools that we have used will be used against the public eventually. And I think we're seeing that. We're not seeing what is not being reported, with the news now being completely taken over by right-wing propagandists, whether that's local or national. And what I've heard from a lot of people, both in Minnesota and across the country, as my colleagues have, because I know we talk to everyone, is that data is being weaponized against us. And having a policy in place is great, but when the federal government and the feds come breathing down your throats, that you are going to comply. I have great respect for Captain Lapkin and everyone at LASD and the work that they do to keep everyone safe, but when the feds come, they don't even comply with our masking rules. They don't even comply with half the laws that we already have on the books. And so this is something that is tantamount to safety for our community, because just because it's been there for a while doesn't mean we can't change it to make sure that everyone is safe. And so that's what I'm going to say, and that's it. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Meister.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Again, this is one of the reasons I would like for our staff to look into not only the contract, but other companies that do what Flock does and specifically have not been accused of sharing data. Something that you have to know, because I also have talked with someone from emergency management in Minneapolis, is that it's not just these types of things, but it's your cell phone, it's Meta, it's Snapchat, and they are hacking into everything. So just, are you going to shut off your cell phone next? I mean, this is what I'm saying. There's no end to it. And so before we go shutting off the cameras, we have to understand that you also have to shut off your cell phone. You also have to shut off your computer with your Facebook and deactivate. And so I understand the reality I understand where this is coming from, but this is not necessarily the answer to this problem, because it's gone much further than this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All of that's appreciated. The difference is this is the decision that we can make as a council. This is a vendor that we empower as a city, that we give our public's dollars to. And if those public dollars are a statement of our values that we continue to invest with the knowledge we have, is certainly a choice we make. I think you're highlighting a realm of things that the community should be aware of, but the question before us is what we as a city council are going to do to protect our community. And with the information we have, this is a real decision that we need to make. And we know the utility these tools have had, but that's the threat the federal government is making cities like ours choose about what public safety looks like. And for me, the bigger value we make when we make a statement around public safety is that we're not going to continue to give our public dollars to a vendor who we cannot trust to maintain the safety and protection of our public's data.
Absolutely agree that we should research that and find out if there are vendors that aren't problematic.
We should all turn off Facebook more, Councilmember Meister. I think we all agree on that.
Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to thank my colleague for his statement earlier. This is a trying time for our community, for our immigrant community. Because of the people sitting up here, I'm the one that's going to be most likely to be picked up by ICE, not any one of my colleagues up here. So thank you.
So this item is before us, and the item is asking for direction to direct staff to review the city's public safety camera program, including the current agreement, to ensure camera data is kept private and not shared with federal immigration enforcement agencies, and to return to City Council with recommendations for ensuring that that data and access is not shared or used to assist federal immigration enforcement agencies. That's the matter before us tonight. I see there's a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, we can go ahead and vote. And that direction has been approved, and staff will come back to us with consultation with our city attorney as well. All right, that brings us to excluded consent calendar items, and we have one excluded consent calendar item, item B9. And Councilmember Meister, you had asked that this be held.
Yeah, and I don't need a full report.
And
but
we don't need a full report. You
No.
just have some questions and comments.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct. I need to, hang on one second, because I need to get to the actual agenda item. And this is, no, it's just that I was, because we got the other items separately, that was open on my,
Okay.
on my thing. Okay.
Hold for a minute while Councilmember Meister gets her.
I got
Oh,
it.
she's got her comments
I got it.
ready.
Okay. So I guess, okay, a few of my questions. What I notice is that with the hospitality and the occupancy, December and January, which used to be a time when people came to California, came to the LA area for vacations during school breaks, it seems like that's been the lowest occupancy for our hotels, 2 years in a row at least, and maybe more, but from what I saw. And I'm just wondering, what are we doing? What can we do to help? What can council do to help to help the Visitors Bureau to increase occupancy rates during those months? Again, I don't know if this is a problem regionally or is it just a problem in the city of West Hollywood? Because December and January, or at least December, used to be a time when people came out to a nice warm climate during vacation time. So I'm just concerned that those numbers are so low.
Yes, Laura, if you could introduce yourself and respond, thank you.
Certainly. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Laura Byrie, Director of Economic Development for the city. I'm joined tonight by my colleagues, Paolo Kesperdet, who is your Business Development Manager, and Laura D'Ambrosia, who is your Business Development Analyst. With regard to the data that you see before you, of course, January of 2025 was a historic low. We had the wildfires that significantly impacted the data that you see there. When we look back in time, what you're seeing here, we did a demarcation to October of 2024. That is when the economic study was approved, and we've started using that as our demarcation line to move forward. We're more than happy to go back and discuss with our colleagues at Visit West Hollywood on historical data regarding the Decembers and Januaries that were prior to this and kind of see how things are trending when you look over a larger period of time.
Yeah, and also pre-COVID.
Certainly.
Because obviously during COVID, people may not have traveled either, but I would also like to see a comparison with, for example, the city of LA, if there's any possibility of getting numbers from their, from their economic development folks. That was one question. Did you have a question?
Well, I was going to say that December and January are historically difficult months for our hotel industry, in large part because the business travel that we typically see during the rest of the year doesn't really occur in December and January. So that's part of the reason why the occupancy at the hotel tends to be lower in those months.
So the idea would be then to get the recreational travelers, especially in December when people are off, and trying to get people from very cold climates, and obviously that's happening right now, to come to West Hollywood. How do we make West Hollywood more attractive to recreational tourists?
If I may share, at your next City Council meeting on February 17th, we will be having a presentation from our Tourism Bureau. They have 2 public hearing items on your agenda. If you'd like, we can ask that they share some of that information as part of those public hearings. They're coming before you regarding the increase in the tourism assessment.
Love to get that information.
Great,
So,
we will share that.
The other thing I noticed is that the commercial vacancy is at 22% for the Sunset Strip, and even higher for the East Side. And I know that you've been having roundtables. What are landlords citing as their biggest challenges in trying to lease the commercial space on the Sunset Strip and the East Side?
Sure, certainly. Hi, Mayor and council members. Paula Kesperdet, Business Development Manager. So we are seeing actually a steady trend when it comes to commercial vacancies for, as I flip on this, the commercial vacancy for office. And then there's some fluctuations, but some steadiness with the commercial vacancies by retail for districts. What we're seeing is that the landlords are pretty much holding out for the best type of use that's happening in those spaces. So they're looking for tenants that can afford the commercial rates that are of market rates at this point. Trying to find the best clientele. They might have a shopping kind of concept, and they're looking to fill a certain need within that space, for example. So they're really just looking for the best type of clientele at this point. And obviously, with kind of the economic uncertainty, businesses are really making some tough decisions on where to relocate to or where to open up in the city and surrounding areas.
I'm just, again, wondering if this has to do with, high leasing rates, because this is not like it's just one quarter that they're waiting. This is like consistent. If you look at your graphs, I mean, it's just consistent for like 4 quarters. And I would think if I were a landlord, I would want to be renting my space. So again, I mean, if that's the issue, it just sounds to me like they're getting a better deal by writing off the loss than by renting the space. And I think that's an unfortunate thing for our city. It's not something that's helpful to our city, and that's not the way our businesses should be treating our city. And then lastly, and this is really more of a comment, but since we are very focused on restaurants in our city and will be moving forward, what I would like to see in these quarterly reports is some kind of metrics for our restaurants only. I know that you do have sales tax data, but the sales tax data is for restaurants and hotel together. And I don't know if you can get restaurants separate from hotels, but that might be helpful. That's number one. And then, I would like to know on these quarterly reports, how if we have a baseline, let's say we start today, because let's say our program is starting, how many restaurants we have. And then on your quarterly reports, how many do we have? How many have we lost? How many new ones have we gotten in, have opened up? And I think that would be very helpful, especially if we're going to be investing to help the restaurants, to help retention and attract restaurants. Then I'd like to see that data in these economic reports. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other questions or comments? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to approve the recommendation. With the direction that has been given. I think
Thank you.
that's, yes. Right, there's a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and we can approve. That is approved. And that,
Thank you.
that concludes our excluded consent calendar. Are there any additional public speakers?
No, we do not have any additional
Okay,
speakers.
so we can turn to council member comments and meeting attendance reports. Anyone want to begin?
Happy to start.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Bai.
Thank you, Mayor. My meeting attendance report is short. I attended the California League of Cities Policy Committee meeting last week, where I serve as the vice chair of the Transportation, Public Works, and Communications Committee, and was assigned to a 5-person task force where I will be reviewing the policy guidelines for that committee. More work ahead. Love that. I wanted to also just share my comments. First, a big thank you to everyone who volunteered for the homeless count, and thank you, of course, to staff, especially Jenny, for all the wrangling of those many volunteers. I also want to thank folks for showing up for the Martin Luther King Day of Service at West Hollywood Elementary, especially the Friends of Elementary, or all of our parents and families there. It was such a great morning of action. Big thanks to the Arts Division, and especially Joy Tribble, for a great start to Winter Sounds. The next show is this Saturday night, 7 p.m. Hope you can make it. I wanted to also say that this is a really big month for West Hollywood at Metro. We know for many, many, many years now, the city has been advocating for the San Vicente alignment of the K-Line Northern Extension, and this month, Metro will be making those decisions. So we are very excited for that. There will be a lot of announcements, I think, coming. The West Hollywood WHAM account, their advocating for Metro account, has already started getting information out to save the date. We want folks to come out and be a part of those rallies and public votes. And then finally, Valentine's Day sits between us and the next council meeting. I've personally had a lot of difficulty with this day, losing a family member. So it has a lot of challenging memories, and I know for so many people it can sort of be a day you may want to avoid or not, depending on your mood. But I just want to sort of urge us all that if there was ever a time to really show our love, to show up and care for each other, to put those random acts of kindness out, that this may be a great day, especially knowing how hard that day can be for people personally. Just want to really raise that as an opportunity that we all have a lot of love we need to be giving to this world, and it needs a lot of it. And if that's a good day of action, then let it be. Thank you. That's all for me tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Meister.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to remind people that on Wednesday, February 4th at 6 p.m., there's a virtual neighborhood meeting for a development proposal at 9034 Sunset Boulevard. And if you go on the city's calendar, you can find that Zoom link. And on Thursday, February 5th at 6:30 p.m., the Planning Commission will have its regular meeting at Council Chambers with 2 public hearings that you might find of interest. So please do check out the Planning Commission agenda. On February 14th, also not my favorite day necessarily, but what is a great event is the I Love Flagging, which is co-sponsored with the Lavender Effect, and that is at West Hollywood Park starting at noon. And if you didn't get a chance to experience that last year, do visit West Hollywood Park on Saturday, February 14th. And also just a reminder that February is Black History Month, and 2026 marks the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Erickson.
Thank you so much. I want to wish everyone a happy Black History Month. I know our city's doing a bunch of different events that around the city's website. Additionally, I attended the League of Cities committee's meeting a couple weeks ago, and I'm proud to be on the Transportation Committee, which Councilmember Byers is leading. It was a fun time. Additionally, the WeHo Sounds event, congratulations, Joy. It was extremely well done and a wonderful time by all. And apologies, I am not contagious. I have had whatever death plague has been going around and the remnants of a cough that never seems to go away. And so I apologize if I had to step out a few times to hack in the hallway, but that is... you do not want to know how the rest of my week has been going, because it has been full of sickness. So get your flu shot, get every type of shot if you can, and make sure you are washing your hands and staying healthy, because there is something going around. So please stay safe and healthy. And those are my comments, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Hang.
Thank you, Mayor. As far as my meetings and attendance reports are concerned, I attended the Guest Jeans grand ribbon cutting ceremony, which you gracefully officiated this week. It is the first Guest Jeans physical location in the world. It is their flagship store in West Hollywood, and Nikolai Marciano and his father Paul Marciano actually came to open the store. And I also attended the California LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce Business Expo here in Plummer Park. Our West Hollywood City staff did an incredible job partnering up with that organization to put on a 2-day event, which a lot of people showed up for, lots of vendors, and I got to see firsthand how much staff involvement is with these events. Staff work long hours. They work extra hard to put on these events for our community members, and I feel very blessed to have a staff that is able to do that for our community. I also attended the WeHo MLK Day of Service at WeHo Elementary. I attended the Youth Ambassador for Queer History Certificate Presentation Program at the One Institute. It was amazing seeing so many high school students be recognized for their work in queer history. And I attended the last disco honoring Thelma Houston at the Wild on Saturday with our mayor, who was shaking it like no other at the Wild. You know, I just wanted to say that we are all horrified by what's going on with ICE in this country. And it is just an awful situation. And me being the person of color, my parents came as refugees, and like I said, I'm the one that's gonna be having the higher likelihood of being detained sitting up here. So it is a very complex, challenging, and it's a horrendous time for our country. And I can only urge our community members to vote. And I want to show solidarity and support of my brothers and sisters at Kaiser. I will be attending the strike on Wednesday to picket. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I attended a number of the events that my colleagues already reported on: the homeless count, the Winter Sounds program, the MLK Day of Service, the One Institute program this weekend, the last disco and honoring Thelma Houston, the opening of Guest Jeans, and I also attended the Imperial Court event that was held this weekend at Beaches Tropicana. So with that, we are now adjourned to a special closed session meeting tomorrow at the community meeting room at 8300 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood. That meeting will be at 5:30 p.m. at the first floor, and it is a special closed session meeting. We are now adjourned. Thank you.
Community and all of the amazing people that make West Hollywood the greatest place to be.
WehoTV is the city's next strategic plan. This builds off of the city's previous strategic plans like Vision 2020. And this is basically a time for the community to come together and align and affirm our community values.
The city of West Hollywood was established on a vision of what this place could be and what it needed to be for the people who were here. And that constantly changes as the people change, grow, the needs around us change. And so we have to sort of bridge this history that we're built on, the values that were established as a city, and understand what it means to meet the challenges in the future.
We are gathering with community, with our elected and appointed officials, and with city employees to help determine the city's vision and goals for the next 20 years.
It's an open house environment. This isn't a lecture. This isn't, just a series of questions. It's an invitation for people